In this video, we're going to talk about what the natural log is in preparation for helping you with some of your 12.5 homework. Before we get into this, I want to remind you what E is. E is a number about 2.71, and it's a number that lives between 2 and 3. Recall that when we first started studying exponential functions, we looked at 2 to the x, we looked at 3 to the x, and e to the x lives right in between those two, and it's a little closer to 3 to the x than it is to 2 to the x, because 2.71 is closer to 3 than it is to 2. All right, so our exponential functions all pass the horizontal line test, so they have inverses. They're one-to-one functions. If we literally switch every ordered pair on e to the x, we have this symmetry about the line y equals x. Here we are at x is 1, y is 0. This graph is of log base e of x. It's the inverse of e to the x. We have a shorthand notation for that, and it is ln of x. ln for natural log. All right? So log base, 2.71 of x is log base e of x, and we use this notation ln x. When I say ln x, what I'm saying is log base 2.71, log base e of x. Okay? So, remember what logs do. All logs of any base, what do? They take in powers of the base and they spit out the exponent. All right, so for ln, of x, remember that's just log base e, base 2.71 of x. What's going in here? How about e to the 1? Or how about we do e squared? E squared goes into the ln x function. It comes out ln of e squared, which is just 2. They take in a power of the base and they spit out the exponent. Right? So what about e to the 7th? E to the 7th goes into my ln box. I'm just going to write the ln, get used to that notation. What comes out is ln of e to the 7th. I'm taking in a perfect power of the base, so all I'm doing is spitting out the exponent. All right, so let's now evaluate a bunch of natural log expressions. So how about ln of 1? Oh, what is 1? 1 is e to the 0. Natural log gobbles up a power of its base, a power of e, and it spits out the exponent. Ln of, how about square root of e? Well, square root of e is e to the 1/2 power. I'm taking in a perfect power of my base. I'm taking in a perfect power of e. All I'm going to do is spit out the exponent. Couple more. Ln of, how about 1 over e? Well, 1 over e is a perfect power of e. It's e to the -1 power. Natural log is gobbling up a perfect power of its base. All it has to do is spit out the exponent. Okay, so although it might look a little more challenging, I think this is actually easier than some of the stuff that we've done, because we're always going to be giving you a perfect power of e here. You know, what's the ln of e for an example? It's just 1. Why? Because e is e to the 1. I'm gobbling up a perfect power of my base, a perfect power of e, and I'm spitting out the exponent. Hope you found this helpful.